Okay, well, over the last couple months, I've been buying quite a number of the EliteDesk 800 G2s, G1s, etc. And I thought I might give a little bit of direction and suggestions on when purchasing them off of eBay, things to look out for, how to get the best bang for your buck. First thing you have to realize is that there's just tons of these out there. I mean, these businesses were buying them up by the pallet, and they're getting rid of them by the pallet. So there's a lot of them out there, and it's just a matter of finding the one that matches your price point. I was going to talk a little bit about all four of them, the G1 through the G4. Really comes down to what you want to spend, what you're expecting from the unit in terms of does it already have memory? Does it already have a drive? How clean is it? Does it already have a CPU? Is it something where essentially when you get it, you're just going to start using it as opposed to tinkering with it, adding stuff to it, kind of the usual types of stuff. So again, it kind of comes down to what you're willing to spend, what you're willing to give up in order to perhaps meet your price point. So I thought we'd maybe start with the EliteDesk 800 G2 Mini. So I typed in here and I got my search. eBay always likes to do it first based on best match. I always like to change it to price plus shipping. Sometimes they'll even say we streamlined it, and I'll say, hey, what the heck, I'll just get everything. A lot of times that will get you things like here where it's just the case, the front, the trays, but if you just kind of keep on going down, you can start seeing, just again, what your pricing is. So this one, and of course it's going to include both buy now, make offer, and also bids. Bidding's fine if that's what you feel comfortable with. I haven't had tremendous luck with that. I tend to have better luck with making an offer on those that allow for it. Okay, so here's one that's for a bid. Looks like it's got the 6500T, which is going to get you the 35 watt. It's got 8 gig of memory. We'll have to look at the pictures to see whether it's 1 or 2 sticks. No hard drive, so we want to check to see if it has the drive caddy and connector. To me, that's a big one because a lot of these units don't have them. I like to have as much on there as possible. I like to have the Wi-Fi. I like to have the caddy. You just never know what you're going to use this unit for. Why give up those when you can ask, you can go to the next unit. So let's look here. All right, so I'm looking. Okay, this is good. A lot of times when it's got this little kind of cover over here, it's a pretty good indicator that the Wi-Fi is intact. Looks like it's got 2 display ports, got the VGA, which is kind of standard. Let's see, top. Okay, let's look inside. We do have the drive caddy. That's good, and the connector. You could, I've seen them. Sometimes these are missing too. So it's got here, and we've got our Wi-Fi here. So this is a pretty nice unit. Let's see if there's any other pictures. I always like to double confirm by looking at the bottom. See exactly what it is. Yes, it is the EliteDesk 800 G2 Mini, 35 watt, 15 bucks. But of course, this is a bid. So, and it just started. So it's got 6 days to go. Let's see, shipping. Okay, that's very reasonable, $7.60. I've paid anywhere up to, it kind of ranges. I wouldn't go past like maybe 15 bucks in shipping. Sometimes they'll sell the unit really cheap, but the shipping will be like $50. Like, well, this is a little unit. It's not going to be that heavy. And so I try to look at everything. So again, this looks like a nice, pretty clean unit. I don't see any breaks. If this was a make an offer, I would probably go for it. But again, for myself, maybe I might wait and put it on my watch list and see if nobody else bids on it, but there's a good chance they will. So let's go back. Let's see. Parts only. So as you know, seeing my videos, that's not always the greatest thing. So we've got no CPU, no RAM, no hard drive. It's 65 watt. I'm not a big fan of, I do have one of the G2 65 watt. I just like to have something that draws the least amount of power. Now, granted, with the 65 watt, you can do a little bit more as far as the GPU because it's going to have that juice. But now you're going to, presumably it may even be a more expensive CPU. So for $25, let's see what we get in here. No Wi-Fi. So let's see. If we look, yep, doesn't look like it's there. It's missing. So to me, no memory. Yeah, I'm not too wild about that one. So and it says as is. Some of these had password protected biases. So yeah, I know. One thing I was wondering back on this other one was, let's see. There was some. Oh, it doesn't have a picture of the RAM. Maybe in the full description. Let's see. It just says 8 gig description. Let's see. Memory. 2 times 4. Okay. Well, that's fine. At least it's dual channel. But most likely you're going to have to spend some money anyway and boost it up to at least 16. I would say that's what I've always done. You could probably get by at the beginning with it, but again, you got to think through, your costs, how much is going to be for the hard drive. Let's see if we got, this is another parts only. This is a 35 watt. This doesn't have the CPU. You got to think about it because the CPU, I've had to purchase them. They run any from, if you can get it, you may be able to get in the low 20s. It's probably more in the high 20s, low 30s. You're also taking a risk because now you're getting something separate than the unit. It's always nice where everything kind of comes together, and then that way you have hopefully some feeling that that both units. Otherwise, if something doesn't work, you don't know. Well, is it the computer that didn't work? Is it the CPU? I had good luck, but I also got the core unit at a very good price, and it was a very good price on the CPU, and the two added together was actually cheaper than me getting, this was on the G3. You can see in one of my other videos. Let's see if we can get past the, okay, this is a bid. Let's see if we can find one that actually has something. No CPU, bare bones. Okay. Oh, the other thing, a lot of these units, almost all of them, do not have an adapter. So that's going to run you another maybe $8 to $10 unless you happen to have one around. You do want to make sure you get the right one. If you get the 65 watt, you're actually going to be needing a 90 watt power supply. So that's another consideration. It's always nice, again, if they throw it in, but that's more the exception than the norm. Let's see, and then you have this where they like to show you all the different ones they've got. Okay, this, no hard drive. Okay, let's look at this guy. This is just cosmetic garbage. Looking in here, I'm not seeing anything in terms of Wi-Fi. Let's see, is that it? That's it. Let's see if there's anything in the description. See, this is the other thing is I really much prefer those that have lots of pictures so I can see the front, the back, the bottom, exactly what I'm getting. You can always ask questions. If they're not willing to either give you info or they don't respond, again, just go to the next one. There's so many of them, and you could just wait and see if you get a better buy. You can look around. This is 4 parts. What is this? No hard drive. Let's see. What's the problem with this guy? This is nice. Lots of pictures. I don't know if we're. Let's see what we got. One thing. Let's see what the back. No Wi-Fi. Again, maybe some folks say, well, who cares about Wi-Fi? I'm just going to be hooking up the thing. You don't know, what you may be using it for later. So it may be nice to get it, because believe me, if it's not there, in order to install Wi-Fi, you have to take the entire motherboard out and then put the antenna underneath it. So no, that's just way too much stuff here. This does not power on. Well, to me, that's a little expensive for does not power on. What is that? $10 shipping. You're talking $48, $49 with the various taxes. You could be looking in the mid 50s depending on where you are. You get a GPU, and that's going to be CPU. I don't think it's the greatest deal. So let's see, not working. Okay, this is a pretty. Let's look at this one. Again, no hard drive or power adapter. Let's see, what do we? Looks like the Wi-Fi presumably is there. I don't like it. They don't put a picture of the stuff on the inside. Yeah, it tells you there's RAM, but there's no hard drive. We don't know about the drive caddy. Let's see if in the let's see, no hard drive, power drive. Oh, no. Yeah, no, that's a no-go for me. No hard drive. At least they let you know. So, okay. Let's go the other end and let's look at some G1s. All right, now we're going to look at some G1s. I got them sorted. Let's see. Okay, again, we got the bare bones. No CPU. Wow, these prices jumped. Oh yeah, and the other thing you got to be worried about, a lot of times they just like to throw in, for whatever reason, eBay throws in the small form factors, which are great, stuff to go with, but not for what we're looking here. Let's see, we've got no hard drive, no OS, pre-owned. No, see, they don't give they don't give you photos. Plus, this, to me, almost looks like a stock. Look how clean this is. This is a little too clean. This looks like some photo that they pulled from someplace. That's too clean. Details on items, read more, read below. No hard drive. Oh, no Wi-Fi. No Bluetooth. Got 8 gig. You do have a lot of people also that get these off of, I don't know, estate sales, or they go to like a business closing. They have no idea what they've got. So you really do have to ask the questions. You have to have them open up. Sometimes they'll say, I don't know anything. You just got to take what you get. I just go on to the next one when I get something like that. Let's see. Is this the same? I do like to look at the how many things they've sold and their ratings. It does play into. I do like 100%. It's always nice, and then that way it's okay. Oh, okay. It's interesting. You get the Wi-Fi and you get the adapter, but you don't get the processor. So this is a pretty bare bones. Let's see. But for something like this, they don't even give you a lot of photos. So interesting. Pre-owned, buy it now. What does this guy look like? That's pretty nice. You've got, so you got 2 sticks here. Wait a minute. Oh, what is this? This isn't a mini. This is I forgot the name. This is slightly different. It's got the hard drive in there. Let's see, what does this say? May have to look at this one. This is interesting. Hewlett Packard. Oh yeah, ultra small desktop, I think. Ultra, something like that, USDT. It's a little different type of unit. This is a 4570S. So this is interesting. Looks like it even, this particular one that you're getting must already have Windows in it. Huh. So what is it? It's $40 plus $14 in shipping. I don't know a whole lot about these, so I can't tell you on those. Let's see. Here's a buy it now. Yeah, see, the G1s. It's definitely a much older unit, so really need to look at the pricing on these to make sure that like this, I don't know, 54 or 60, best offer, you could try. But you are dealing with something that's an older processor. The I/O was much slower. It's a lot more to deal with in terms of opening it up, as you can see in my other videos. So you really have to think about this one. I would call the G1 for someone who has already maybe have one of the other units or has some experience with the stuff. And then again, try to get it as cheap as you can. I got, I think mine, I forgot what mine was out the door, but it was definitely less than what I'm seeing here. Let's check the G3s. Okay, the G3s obviously are going to be, the newer the unit, the more expensive it's going to be. This was one of the ones that I took a gamble and I bought a pretty clean unit that did not have a CPU, bare bones. I don't believe it had the memory either. And went through and added the CPU, and it worked for me. But of course, I had to wait and order the CPU and hope that everything worked together. So let's see. Okay, so like this is a parts only. This one was around when I was looking, so it's been up there a little bit. And I believe with this person, I even asked. I said, "Well, do you know if it even works?" Because it says parts only. He says, "Oh, he didn't have anything he could test it with." Well, again, that's a right there. You're like, I don't think I want to go with something like that. Okay, what do we got here? No hard drive. Oh, okay, this is a one for a bid, but we'll look at it anyway. Let's see. Pretty clean. Let's see with the back. I have one that's like this where it's not a thing, but I believe that should mean, let's see, it is a 35 watt. Do we have any more pictures? Okay, 8 gig. Good condition, no hard drive, no monitor. Well, yeah, obviously no keyboard. Let's look. Operating, hard drive included, optical, AC adapter not included. This would probably be one that I would want to ask if the Wi-Fi was there, because they did not include. Oh, wait a minute. Here's a picture. Okay, I stand corrected. Let's see. Is it? Oh, that's hard to tell. I'm guessing that it probably does, but I would, in this case, ask the seller. And easiest way is you just come down, and where is it here? And just say contact. That goes to another screen. Finally, you get into kind of an interface that almost looks like you're basically texting them. And you actually can have, if they're online, a conversation. And I've had that with a couple folks where we went back and forth, made some deals on it, and they adjusted price. One gentleman, that was my first one, the G2, he came right out and said, "Hey, you want it for X price," which was, I think, $20 less than he was normally asking. He just wanted to get rid of the thing, and I'm like, "Oh, sure." So he quickly went on and changed the price to the lower one, and then I quickly jumped on and was able to grab it. It was kind of I wouldn't call it cat and mouse, but we had to do it quick. He was like, oh, good. I thought someone else got it, so I'm glad you got it. Okay, let's see. Buy it now. A lot of these bare bones. You just kind of have to check here and there. Okay, so here's a bare bones. Let's see, CPU. Boy, not a lot. Okay. The other thing, of course, you have to remember is that these did come with i3s. I've always been going with the i5s regardless. That seemed to be kind of, one was the most common, and two just seemed to give the oomph. You could always get and then upgrade and buy it, but again, why go through that when you can get one that, so what's this one? Oh, okay, $50 or best offer. Okay, G3 Mini i5, no OS. Okay, so this shouldn't be straight bare bones. But guys, give us some info. Show us some pictures. We want to see. Sometimes I'll look on these sponsored ones, because it might be a little faster to find some of the ones. What's that one? That's an 8 gig. Let's see, DM Intel. So this is going to be a 65 watt. Let's see. Let's continue looking at this one. So HDMI display port doesn't really say anything about Wi-Fi or Caddy. So yeah, I would ask questions on this one. Let's check this guy out. What does this say? No pictures. Okay, and no Wi-Fi. Okay, all right. Yeah, then the prices just start getting up there. Depends on how many you think you're going to be getting and how frugal you want to be. So looks like this person, I've seen them before, Human IT. They sell a lot, benefits charity and so forth. So they've got tons of them around. So it'd just be a matter of asking what they have. And it's quite possible that the picture that you're seeing here is just representative. So you'll have to ask. Sometimes, especially if you're making an offer, what I'll do in the offer, I'll say, hey, I'm offering you $45, but only if it's got Wi-Fi and a caddy or something like that. I had one where I asked them, I said, hey, do you happen to have any where your 8 gig is a single stick? Because then I only have to buy one other 8 gig stick. And said, sure. And I put that in the description, and that's what came through. As it turns out, it was also a 65 watt, which I didn't specifically ask for, but I got a good price on it, so I kept it. Let's see, this is best offer, i3, okay. Looks like we've got benefits charity. Okay, wow, they have tons of these. So especially if they're selling a bunch of them, when you're asking best offer, you might as well go down and just see what you can get. I mean, you could shoot for 45 or something on something like this. Worst happens, they counter, and you kind of go with it. But again, you also have to think, okay, I got a hard drive. Am I going to get a SATA drive, SSD, and I also then am going to get an M.2. So, and I got memory. So, it starts to add up So again, sometimes if you get one that perhaps already has all this stuff, I mean, here's an i5 7500T. It's got 8 gig of memory, 256, best offer. That's kind of nice because then you don't have to buy all the stuff. Looks like it's got the Wi-Fi. Has SSD, so conceivably it should have the drive bay. I've even double checked and asked them. I said, because who knows, they may have just put an M.2 in there and the drive caddy isn't there. So let's see, does it give working condition? Parts not included. Power cable, power adapter. Doesn't really, here it is. 65 gig NVMe SSD. So there's a good chance that the cage is not there. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of you are going, I don't care about that, but I think you will later. I think you're going to want some flexibility. Okay, last one we'll do looking at G4s. All right, G4 is definitely the most expensive. Um, I think I had to spend at least 100 just to get a unit with 16 gig of memory. And then I had to or I had to still get, the power adapter. I had to get the drives. So, and that was actually a pretty good price at the time. Because you notice here, just bare bones, it's going to run you 54. So let's see if we have any. Oh, this is obviously for bids, but look how popular. 12 bids, and it still has three more days to go. It's kind of nice that they do free shipping. They got a couple of them here. Let's see. So, and really have to look at this is an i3. At least it does have the Wi-Fi. Nice thing with, of course, the G4 is that you do get two NVMe slots, but you can't use both of them and use the caddy. I am going to try an experiment to see if a 2230 perhaps in that second SSD slot might still be able to allow you to do the caddy. That would be interesting. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Okay, so here's a G4. Well, for bids. Well, we'll look at it anyway. Let's see what it looks like. No, doesn't give a lot of detail. Let's look at the one everyone was excited about. Let's see, one of these. How do they look? Wow. Oh, just a little ad about refurbish. This is nice. It does come with the power adapter. I would also make sure on the power adapter, it's always nice to have a picture of that because I really like getting the genuine HP ones. There's a lot of knockoffs out there, and you might as well have the real thing because it's really not that much difference in price, and you can always get it yourselves. So here's a here's a buy it now 135. See, it's getting up. I mean, you could practically get you could almost get a G1, G2, and maybe a G3 combined for that much. Let's see, any picture? Okay, so it does have the Wi-Fi. Looks like it's got three of the display ports. What are the specs? See, and it's still at 8 gig. And if you're going to be doing Proxmox and things like that, you really want to have at least that 16. And it's hard to know, is that a single? Is it one? I can't tell if it's multiple chips. Let's see. Maybe sometimes it will give info. We'll see. This is live. I believe you can do 32 gigs. So that's wrong. 8th gen. 16 gigs, yeah, SSD. So it doesn't really, again, I mean, I would ask them, clarify, is it a single stick, dual? Is it true just a SATA SSD? I'm thinking it is, but a lot of these people don't know or care to differentiate. And so you as the buyer, you just have just don't assume, just ask, and then you can get a good deal. I've also used I've also used it for searching and buying, of course, CPUs, memory. Haven't done drives, but even when it comes to drives and memory, you kind of have to toss it up because a lot of times I can find pretty close pricing on Amazon. And so unless you're getting a good deal, like I got a pretty good deal on some Crucial memory and off of eBay, and it was probably at least half the price of what it was on Amazon. But it was also older. It was DDR3. and that was for my G1. So that's about it. And if you have questions, leave a comment. Thank you very much.